disturbing that goose. Is this on? Oh, it's on. Hello everybody, my name's Holly and thanks for joining me in this video. Today I'm going to be showing you our geese and talking about what we do to stop them being so broody. And really the only way you can do that is to give them some goslings. Unfortunately, we've got 2 female geese and no gander. So our geese sit on these eggs day in, day out, don't move, they're so diligent, but they're never ever going to hatch because they're not fertile. So I've got a goose in here, which I'll just show you. She's been sitting on these eggs for, I'm going to say 2 weeks already. And we go in with a stick because they are like very serious about protecting their eggs. And you can see what happens. She gets down low. She hisses. Oh gosh, she hisses. If you get too close, can you see all those eggs under her? So she's sitting on maybe like, I don't know, 10 or 12 eggs. Alright, that's enough bothering the mother. And Wilson comes in occasionally. I think he's pretty much learnt. Wilson has learnt to keep his distance, haven't you, Wilson? He's still curious. Yeah, so luckily for this goose, she is sitting on eggs that are inside their duck coop. So at night she's protected and we close her up. But our other goose is sitting on her eggs in a little patch of the garden beside the house. Okay, she's not on her nest. Oh, she's over there. But that's her nest. I've been pinching her eggs every day. I don't know if there's any under there at the moment. She actually, you can see she's got some of her down kind of feathers, so she made a little nest there. And usually when she lays her eggs, she will cover them over with bark and sticks and mulch so that they're hidden. But she's been sitting on her eggs there and not moving, so she's been not being able to be, we haven't been able to lock her up at night because she's too aggressive. We've tried a couple of times, some successful, some not. So we really need to do something to stop these geese sitting on their eggs. And yeah, as I said before, the best way to do that is to give them some babies to look after that they think are their own. So we did this last year. We hatched some duck eggs from our own ducks. And when those ducks were old enough to sort of, they were probably about 2 weeks old, we started to bring them out on the grass, and immediately both geese adopted them and became their mothers and stopped sitting on their own eggs. So we're going to do that again this year. So we're going to go inside and I'm going to show you how we set up the incubator and incubate some duck eggs. Look at this magnificent plant. If you want to plant something for your bees, and you have the room, this is called Echium. This is a white variety, and I don't know if you can see them, like if you stand here you can just hear the plant buzzing. I think it's absolutely spectacular. The bees love it, and it comes in some other colors too. It's got this is another variety. It's a purple Echium, and same thing, it's just so full of bees. And of course they love lavenders and things like that too. But if you've got room, plant an Echium. If you need a plant, I've got heaps of seedlings. If you're local to Mount Evelyn and you comment on my page or get in touch with me on Holly's Backyard Bees, I've got a bunch of spare seedlings that I potted up here. Heaps of them. So they self-sow pretty easily. So I've got a bunch of these pots that happy for anyone in this area to plant, because my bees might come and visit it. Yeah, I can see your head.
You're standing here?
Yeah.
I just love bees and geese, and I like eggs. It works.
Yeah. All right, so we're back in the house now. This is my incubator. I know it just looks like a polystyrene box, but it's from a company called Bell South. They sell a lot of incubators, and I've had a few different incubators in my time. Some of those plastic ones that auto-rotate, they're a bit cheaper, but I've never had very good success with regulating the temperature very well. And so a couple of years ago, probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, I bought this one from Bell South. Now it's not cheap. If I remember correctly, it was about $400, which seems like a lot of money, but it has been the best incubator and we've had so much success with it. And you can incubate, in these incubators, you can do chicken eggs, duck eggs, geese eggs if you have fertile ones. You can do quail, any kind of poultry. Underneath it's got this metal plate which you take up just initially, and you can see it's got a bit of a reservoir area, and it's really important when you're incubating eggs that they have enough humidity, particularly at the hatching stage, at the end of the incubation period where they're going to be hatching out. They need to have the right level of humidity to be able to crack through the egg. Duck eggs incubate for 28 days, chickens are 21, quails I think are only 18, so really quick. But we've got a month before these hatch. And it's really important as well that you turn these motors off, the egg rolling, the rollers off 3 days before the eggs are due to hatch. So you don't want them, you want them to sort of find their centre and get settled and get in the right position before they hatch. So I'm going to put in my first sort of barrier, and then I'm going to get my duck eggs. Now you can see these duck eggs have a bit of poo and feathers and dirt and things on them, and that's okay. I'm going to use a bit of a soft cloth just to wipe off what I can, but I'm not going to wet them or wash them because eggs are covered in something really important called a bloom, and that sort of is a barrier that protects bacteria from getting into the egg. So I've got a cloth here that's just a little bit ever so slightly damp, just to give them a wipe off with the main muck, I suppose. They're pretty clean as far as duck eggs go. And you want to put them so eggs have a flat bottom side and a pointy side. You kind of want to make the flat bottoms or the pointy tops meet each other when they're in the incubator. So for example, I will put these two like that. So, because if I put it like that, this will roll. When the thing rolls, it'll kind of move a bit. So I'm going to put bottom to bottom. That one's really clean already. And then this one top. Okay, so I'm fitting about 5 or so in there, and then I'm going to put my next barrier. So if they're too tight, they won't turn. Okay, and I'm going to continue on. I'm going to fill up the rest of this tray with eggs. I've got 2 dozen that I think I'll put in the incubator. I think in previous years we've put on about 2 dozen, and we've had maybe about a little over 50% of them hatch. So I'm happy with, you know, having between 10 and 15 little ducklings. This is what it looks like now. So I've got 25 eggs in here, and you can see I've got the dividers in, and I've got a thermometer on one of these. And it's really important that you set the thermometer up and calibrate the temperature right, because that's obviously going to set the eggs. So these eggs are all fertile because we have a couple of drakes amongst our ducks. It mimics mother hen a bit more. So because there's no fan force or anything like that, you know, a mother hen, when she sits on her, or a mother goose in our case, sits on her eggs, the top part of the egg is getting all of that warmth from her body, from her underside, and she turns the eggs over herself. She'll use her beak, turn the eggs over so they all are getting warm and turned all over. And this is what this is doing. It's just a radiant heat, and then it has the automatic roller. I can't actually see the temperature from here, the thermometer, so I'm just going to plug it in and turn it on, and in about probably 3 or 4 hours I'll come and have a look what it is. And it has to be 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I don't know what that is in Celsius and so I'll just show you how I can tell that I've put the eggs in the right way. So what I do is I grab a couple of eggs and I'll just, with a pencil, just make a cross on them. So I did one there and I did one here. And when I do a tester here, I'm going to press this. I want those eggs to rotate exactly, well, roughly 180 degrees. So I'm going to have a look. It's about right. And did this one turn all the way about right? Yep. So I've fiddled around with it a little bit. If you feel like they're too squished, just move it to the next channel to give it a bit more space to roll. Every 2 hours, it will turn my eggs morning and night. I don't have to worry about it. Really simple setup. So yeah, I'll be able to tell whether these eggs are fertile in probably the next 7 days. So I'll be candling these eggs, and I might do a video of how you do that, and you should be able to start seeing some spider-like veins in through the eggshell when you candle them, and we'll take out the ones that haven't been fertilized or that aren't viable. So you can tell pretty early. Take those out, and so that we don't put any rotten eggs. I've had a rotten egg explode in one of these before. It's nasty. So yeah, I'll check back in with you guys maybe in a week and hopefully be able to do another video to show you how you candle the eggs and take you on the journey for little ducklings. All right, see you later.